Hello and welcome to this special broadcast from the Tribune network. We are coming to you live from the Tribune headquarters here in Chandigarh. Barely a week left for campaigning to end for the 13 Lok Sabha seats in Punjab. The momentum has picked up, the campaigning has picked up. Different political parties, be it the Congress, BJP, Aam Aadmi Party and the Akali Dal, and to some extent the Bahujan Samaj Party. There are various seats where there is going to be a multi-cornered contest, making it one of the most interesting Lok Sabha elections. We at the Tribune are travelling, our reporters are travelling across Punjab to get a feel of what's happening on the ground. The mood, color, everything our reporters are trying to bring it to you through our newspaper and also through our videos and other social media platforms. Today, I'm joined by my senior colleague, Ruchika Khanna, who has just travelled across Malwa, the recent being Faridkot. You travelled to these places. Ruchika, on the ground, I mean, you have to tell our viewers, you've been writing stories from there. What is the kind of mood prevalent in these constituencies? Particularly latest would be Faridkot where you have travelled.
So, Rohit, in this election, if we compare it with the 2022 elections, which was an assembly election,
Right.
the biggest difference I see is that there is not as much color as was there in the assembly election. It's quite understandable also because generally, there's a lot of difference between the general election and the state assembly election.
Right.
But yes, the color as we saw it in the 2022 election
Right.
is missing. And also, this is one election where we've not seen any wave in or against, any political party,
Right.
for that matter. I mean, not just the ruling, but any political party.
Right.
Yeah.
But as you also mentioned, Ruchika, we are actually comparing, if you have to compare the two polls, like Lok Sabha poll last 2019 and now, is there a perceptible change on the ground? Could you find more color and liveliness during those the campaigning to those polls, or it's like the same which is happening right now?
See, Rohit, in this election, the biggest change from 2019 is that there's a generational shift in the Punjab politics.
Right.
In 2019, it was both Prakash Singh Badal, the supremo of Akali Dal, and also Captain Amrinder Singh,
Right.
who were at the helm of affairs.
Okay.
So the politics and the political discourse was always decided by these two leaders. So with the Bal Sahab no longer being there,
Right.
and with Captain Amrinder Singh, being very reclusive, maybe because of his health reasons, but being reclusive, it's a very personality-oriented election, but for the next generation of leaders.
Right.
Yes.
And also, when you travel across Malwa, of course, is one of the most crucial regions of the state. In fact, some of the important constituencies fall in this particular region. What are the issues people are talking about? When you talk to people, forget about the politicians or the political party. When you go right down, you've spoken to many people on the ground. What do they say when it comes to a Lok Sabha poll? What is the major issue that confronts in?
See, in different constituencies, there would be different issues. But one thing that pervades, quite a substantial number of constituencies in the Malwa region is the drug menace.
Right.
You go to Faridkot, you go to Bathinda, you go to the rural areas of Sangrur, you go to Firozpur. In all these constituencies, you'll come across people who will come and approach you and tell you, narrate horrifying tales of children as young as 11, 12 years old getting addicted to what they call chitta, which is actually
Right.
a derivative of heroin.
This is an issue which actually got Akali Dal into trouble. I mean, they got ousted. The Aam Aadmi Party, they came to power. This was one of their issues, that they will eradicate this drug menace. But if the fact remains that if this is the issue which continues to dominate the campaigning, the poll issues, I mean, what does it actually convey to the political parties, to people at large? I mean, it still continues to be a very potent issue as far as campaign is concerned.
See, Rohit, ever since the drug issue came to the forefront, it was during the 2014 elections when the Akali BJP government was in power. The issue continues till 10 years later.
Right.
In between, we've seen a regime of the Congress, and for the past 2 years, we've seen a AAP regime. So for the common man, the point is that all three different parties have failed to deliver on this issue.
Right.
So as a result, I'm sure the political strategists of these parties also know the fact that they've failed to deliver. So the political discourse by the politicians does not recognize this as an issue. But if you talk to the general public, they say that this is one of the most important issues for them, which they would want the politicians to address,
Right.
but which is not being done.
Okay, also, I'm taking you on a different track. I mean, you went to Faridkot, an interesting battle here. The singers, basically from both party, AAP and the BJP. How's this battleground Faridkot panning out? Two singers, folk singer, one Sufi singer.
And the
How
other's
does
an actor.
and others an actor? So how is it packing? There should have been a lot of color when it comes to campaigning.
Yes, it's a lot of color. It's a lot of stardust, what I would call it. It's very interesting that the campaign of Karamjeet Anmol, who's the AAP candidate and also a very famous Punjabi actor, is entirely run and supported by his group of friends, all from the film industry, Punjabi film industry. So we've seen people like Binu Dhillon, coming in campaigning for him. We've seen Gippy Garewal campaigning for him. We've seen Mandy Tucker campaigning for him. We've seen Gurmeet campaigning for him. And from what I saw at a lot of his public meetings, is that any of these actors who's there will first go address the public at the meeting, tell them about Anmol's persona and how Anmol has made a difference in their personal lives. He'll set the stage and move on, and that is when Anmol comes.
Right.
So
But
that is
does this element of stardom, stars contesting, does it actually translate into votes? I mean, after the show, whenever these stars come there, they come to that event. Do they actually people talk about what do they talk about once the show is over? They're actually enamored by so many stars on one stage. Does it actually translate into votes for the candidate? Both sides. I mean, not just.
So we've seen Gurdaspur elect Vinod Khanna, and we've also seen Gurdaspur elect Sunny Deol. Sunny Deol was virtually never went to his constituency after the election.
So are the people keeping that thing in mind? I mean,
No, I don't think so. I mean, here the added advantage. There are lots of other added advantages. Faridkot is the land of Baba Farid. He was a Sufi saint. So when a person like Hansraj Hans is there, and he talks about Sufism, and he talks about his own connect with Sufism, he does strike a chord with the voters. When a person like Karamjeet Anmol, talks about by the way, he's one of the best friends of Chief Minister Bhagwant Mann. So when he talks about the achievements of the AAP government, primarily the 300 units of free power given to the domestic consumers, he strikes a chord. The stardom is just an added flavor to the election. Yeah.
Also, heat is turning out to be a big dampener. I mean, you've seen nationally a very low voter turnout. Now it's turn of Punjab in the last phase. Has it really actually dampened the campaigning for the candidates? How are they doing it? I mean, what's their regular, schedule for campaigning? Because it's hot, 47, 46 is that starts too. Are they worried? I mean, all the parties, are they worried that the turnout, as like other parts of the country, could be low this time?
No, I don't. I mean, I've not come across candidates who've been worried about this aspect. But yes, the difference is that they'd like to campaign early in the mornings before the heat wave sets in,
Right.
and then the campaigning takes a slow turn between 12 to 4, and then 4 onwards it again peaks, but it continues till late in the night. Sometimes meetings are being held till about 12 in the night.
Okay.
Yeah.
So to circumvent that disadvantage,
Yes,
that
yes.
doing to okay. Though we are not getting into who is winning or who has an advantage, but still, there's this issue, Ruchika, the farmers' discontent with the BJP. Now we have seen it not just in Punjab, in various parts of Punjab, there have been protests against the BJP candidates in rural areas, particularly. How's the BJP candidate in Faridkot, or for that matter in other parts wherever you visited, Bathinda and all? How are they trying to counter this?
See, they are mainly concentrating on the urban voters.
Right.
A, and B, in the rural areas, when they have to go to the villages, generally it is amongst the Dalit population that these people are trying to make a connect.
Right.
For example, in Faridkot, Hansraj Hans, the day he had that controversy where he was recorded in a video saying that these people will be taught a lesson after June 1. It was at a Dalit person's residence that
Right.
he'd gone to hold a meeting when he was stopped by the farmers.
Right.
Yeah, so I mean, their way to deal with circumvent this is that they're making a connect with the Dalit population,
Right.
which is a sizable population in most of these constituencies,
Right.
and that is how they're going about it. Yes.
Okay. And also about, if you tell a little bit about the Aam Aadmi Party, because that's a ruling party here. They didn't fare well in the Lok Sabha election, and last time also in the by polls they also lost. Now this time, what has been the strategy of the Aam Aadmi Party in this crucial region of the state? They are the ruling party. They need to score well. Mind you, this will also have a national repercussion if they win good number of seats from here. So what has been the strategy of the Aam Aadmi Party?
See, this time the face of the party campaign is Mr. Bhagwant Mann. There has, amongst Punjabis, there has always been a little discontent with the fact that the Delhi leaders of the party have taken a center stage and the Punjab leaders have been pushed to the margins. So I think that was one of the reasons why they lost the Sangrur bypoll in 2022, which was just 2 months, after the party had stormed to power with 92 MLAs.
Right.
So I think this time very strategically they've made Bhagwant Mann the face of the campaign.
Is it okay? Is that the strategy they have reworked it now? Mr. Kejriwal not
Yeah.
forming the.
Yeah.
Is the fact that Mr. Kejriwal was also jailed? He's been in the jail.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
also has
That,
contributed.
that also has
But if
contributed.
if Mr. Kejriwal would have been out, not being behind prisons, do you still the strategy would have been make Mr. Mann more a face in the Punjab
yes,
campaign?
yes, definitely, because the strategy was formalized before Mr. Kejriwal was arrested.
Okay.
The campaign was launched here in Mohali,
Right.
and they had very clearly made Mr. Bhagwant Mann the face of the party. Yes.
So does that give them an advantage that at least you have a Punjabi who is actually heading the campaign?
That plus the fact that in the past almost 2.5 years of rule, there is nothing that has gone very drastically wrong with the Aam Aadmi Party.
Right.
The dole of 300 units of free power that they've given to domestic consumers is definitely a clinching factor. Yeah.
And also, Ruchika, one last thing, the Akali Dal factor. I mean, last time they fared really badly. In fact, for successive elections, they have not been doing well. Do they continue to be sort of pariahs in the entire political system? Because after losing the state election, now they are not into a tie-up with any political party. They are going solo in these elections. Are they going to repeat the performance which they had last time, or this time do you expect something drastically different since they are going solo this time, not with any alliance partner?
I don't think there's going to be any drastic change, but yes, I mean, one thing to their advantage is that they are in contest in at least 6 to 7 seats.
Okay.
They're in a as we near the polling date, things the political fights are getting more and more formalized.
Right.
So at least they're in contest in 6 to 7 seats.
Right.
Yeah.
And what about BJP, though it's not a formidable force as the other mainstream parties, but this time they got people from different political parties. What about them?
See, BJP so far has not given out its political narrative for Punjab.
Right.
Today, when Prime Minister Narendra Modi comes in, whatever he says
Right.
will we expect that it's going to kind of strategize the whole election for the BJP, and also it will lead to some consolidation of Hindu votes.
Yes.
So Hindu vote is about 40% of the votes here.
Right.
If they're able to consolidate it, at least in certain pockets, I think they do stand a
And
chance.
what makes the battleground interesting is the fact that so many parties. It's not going to be a one,
Yes, it's
two
not-
chord
it's
or
not,
three chord.
yeah,
In fact,
yeah. It's a
in some places,
psephologist's nightmare. It's a
Absolutely.
psephologist's nightmare.
because it again boils down to the fact that the voter turnout that will also make it
Yes.
interesting.
yes.
So clearly an interesting battle, Ruchika.
Yes,
Thank you
yes.
so much for those
Thank you.
details.
Thank
So
you.
there you have lots of insights into what's happening on the ground. As we mentioned, our battery of reporters, they have been traveling across Punjab. Ruchika has been traveling in Malwa. So we try to bring you a lot of flavor, color from these constituencies, from the grassroots level, from the ground. We've been putting out these stories in our print section, the newspaper. We've been getting lots of them, but we want that you to get a flavor from the ground through these reporters who have traveled to these constituencies. You can log on to our website, tribunemedia.com, for furthermore stories, and also follow us on our other social media platforms like Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram for a detailed account of what's happening on the ground. Punjab, as I told you, June 1st is the day of polling. June 4th is when the results will be out. We will come to know who is eventually winning. But Punjab is an important and crucial state, not just for the ruling Aam Aadmi Party, for the Congress to show some sort of resurgence. For the BJP, mind you, they're in power. Mr. Modi has been personally taking interest in the campaign here in Punjab. So it will be interesting for many political parties. It's going to be an interesting political battle. We at the Tribune will provide you all those details and updates from the ground. Meanwhile, thanks for watching.